But some more of these amazing observations kept happening with these group of people that I was getting to know. You know, I used to track the mileage of the guys on this poster board. Everybody's name was on the left, and all the numbers were on the top. And at the end of our run, I would color in the miles that everybody ran that day. And when I would get to a specific member's name, he would just hover over me and watch me give him credit for the work that he did that day. And it was moments like that that help you realize we are all the same. We as human beings are all looking for the same thing in life. We want to be recognized. We want to be appreciated. We want to be valued. We want to be loved. We want to be cared for. That does not matter if you are black, white, rich, poor, homeless, or not. We look for that in our relationships. We look for it in our friendships. We look for it in our jobs. It's, think of all of the attention you give your kids about making sure that they know that they're doing a good job and putting their, 10 out of 10 spelling tests on the fridge. Those innate qualities of wanting that don't disappear as we get older. If anything, they get stronger. And for this group of people, for these guys staying in the shelter, that was missing. And if you don't have that, if you don't have people in your life who are supporting you and telling you you're doing a good job, and you don't even understand your own capabilities and potential, how are we expecting these guys, this population, these people in this facility, to go on and be a normal a normal member of society and just go get a job and everything is going to be okay? That's not the way that it works. Everybody needs emotional well-being to be able to be successful. And there was an opportunity for Back on My Feet to provide that for people. And if it was just these 9 guys in this shelter, what about all the other shelters in Philly that need a program like this? And what about all the other shelters in the country that need a program like this? And this vision starts forming that there's a real opportunity to provide that. And if we get them to a place of, again, such emotional well-being, that then we can focus on education. And then we can focus on job training. But to think you can skip that first step is just ridiculous. It's not going to be sustainable. And so I'm calling my mom and calling anybody who will listen to me and saying, I'm not going to take this job. My mom telling me, yes, you are. What do you mean? How are you going to pay your rent? And I didn't know any of those answers, but for me, on such a personal level, my life was starting to make sense. All the struggles we went through. Every time I cry. All the struggles we went through as a family and the hardship that my dad went through, it was all turning into opportunities for people. You don't have to clap, it's okay. Just give me a minute. For opportunities for people, and you can't ignore that. When you feel such a, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, that this is a calling, and I know how crazy that sounds. I'm not very religious, but you have to start paying attention to those things. And I felt like I was chosen as this messenger to give opportunities and give a chance to people that didn't have it in front of them. So I turned down the job and surrounded myself with some really smart people who believed in this concept and this idea. And we started building and growing and learning and screwing up and fixing that and then screwing up some more and fixing that and designing a program that today is 6 to 9 months long, that still starts with running 3 days a week. You have to be on time, and we track your attendance and mileage. And through, again, our program, our members are getting access to job training. They're getting access to employment opportunities that they wouldn't have. They're getting access to education systems. We're helping them with their legal issues if they have them. We're teaching financial literacy. We're providing all of these paths and these opportunities for folks that need them. And everybody also gets the opportunity to earn a $1,250 grant within the organization to move their life forward, to help them again with some of the issues that are holding them back from being homeless. And one of the amazing things that I've learned is that all of our members don't want to be homeless. They just don't know how not to be homeless. They don't have the guidance and the resources and the opportunities that many of us have had for our whole lives. People helping us, guiding us, and telling us, helping us make decisions. And that's a really important part of people being successful. So I'm really proud of the 23 members that we have here today. I'm really excited for your future and for, again, being a part of our team within this organization. And if I didn't point out those guys to you today, no one in here would have known that they were homeless, because it doesn't matter. And that's another beautiful thing about this organization, is that we're all out there in running shoes and clothes. We all look the same. The only thing that matters is your attitude and your character, and that's the only thing that matters in life. And that's a great message for all of us to remember, because it's really easy to forget. And so now I'm going to stop babbling and actually bring up someone who's a dear friend of mine. His name is Kenny Herter. He is one of our alumni members from Philadelphia. Kenny has been with Back on My Feet since 2008 and is an amazing, amazing individual who's had his own struggles and hardships that he's going to share with you, and has persevered and has really found his way in life, and is such an inspiration to so many people. Kenny now works. He has 2 different jobs. He lives independently on his own. He comes back and runs and helps everybody else who's in that program, reminding them to stick with it when it gets hard, because of where Kenny is today. He really, really is an inspiration to all of our new members, because he's been so successful in his journey. So if you guys can please put your hands together for Kenny Herter.
Hello, everybody. Kenny Herter, as you know. First of all, I'd like to thank the W. Dave Marriott and the staff here. They treat old poor boy with the red carpet treatment, and I appreciate everything they have done for me. And just thank you very much. I'd like to start my story off back in like '08 of the summer of June, to the point where my behavior was getting out of control. My drinking was getting out of control. My mother couldn't handle me no more, and as a result, she just told me to leave. So, and before I like to go on anymore, I'd like to explain to everybody that through these travels, I understand that I was dual diagnosed. Dual diagnosed means that A, you're drug and alcohol, B, along with a disorder, and my disorder was a mood disorder along with anxiety disorder, which led me to this behavior to go into the shelters. So, as I get into the shelters, man, when I went in there, it was just like, it's like this. I was living in the comfort of my mother's home, watching cable TV, all that, into like a place where it's just like 100 guys just holding on to wherever they can. So basically, when I walked through those shelter doors, I looked around and I just wanted to get it better. I just wanted to show my mom that I could be a better person, and just some kind of hope that things would get better. So as I'm progressing into the shelter life, we have this thing called the community community meetings that we have every morning, where we discuss issues. Sometimes they bring people from the outside. So this one particular day, Back on My Feet came in, and there was this tall guy named Wally Blaskin, and his legs were as long as Market Street out here. And I didn't know Wally, but they had a gentleman with the name of Mike Sullivan that I knew very much. I knew Michael very well. And Mike was explaining and telling the story about how these people came in and changed his life. And what he said was like, his wife died, and he felt, at that point in his life, he felt as no one even cared if he lived or died. And that's the way I felt when I went into the shelter system. But then I knew Mike, like I said before, and then I could see when these people came into his life, the changes that came to him. Like he was showing the incentives that he had, like the camera, he had the watch, he had the computer, he was glowing. He was just like, man, at first thinking, I was like, where do I sign up at? Please. So signed up, we got the shoes, as Ann explained, everybody fit the shoes, went up there, and we got our first run in. And we ran the mile, we met with another team. And so things started going well. As months go, as we started progressing, I started running 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 5 mile, which I want to thank Wally. I ran my first 5 mile with my man Wally there. I received a medal for that, and then when it came around, I gave it back to Wally just to show the appreciation that he's done for me. But as the months went along and I continued to run, I started getting healthier. And what I mean by that, like my body was getting healthy, my mind was getting healthy, I was getting treatment for my disorder. I just became obsessed with this running thing, like Back on My Feet. It was just like, it meant so much to me. And as like I said, as I became healthier, my mind became healthier. I didn't want to do all the dumb things that led me to the shelter. It just improved my way of thinking, the way of breathing. And just another thing that I didn't want to do was let Wally and my team down by coming to practice smelling like some kind of booze or nothing like that. And just something that the dedication that came to me, I didn't want to do that. And as time went along, I started getting stronger with it, where it became easier, and it just helped me to get back on track. Things started changing. I finally got my name called on a waiting list for Project Home with Sister Mary Scullin. It's like a transitional housing place, and for people of my situations, and they help you out pretty good, excuse me. And we were so fortunate, it was right down the street from where we ran practice, so I was still allowed to go to practice along, continue living in Project Home, which is so much better environment. And things started running real well. And with all of suddenly, February of last year, I lost my mother to cancer. And I really didn't know if I wanted to run again. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But the members from back of my feet grabbed me in, pulled me back to the circle, and I announced something, and they dedicated 5 miles to my mother that we ran that morning, the whole team. And the amazing part that I talked about over with my counselor and my doctor was I was able to handle that challenge, of that, like I said, life throws at you, and I was no way prepared for that situation. And then with the help of back on my feet and the staff, the treatment team that I had pulled me through it. Thank you for the grace of God of that. Then as things start continue running, and before that, I missed one part. When I was in the shelter system, I used to, they tell you to leave in the morning because they really don't want you hanging around. So what I used to do is just go out and hang down at Broad and Orange, just one particular place, and there was a hot dog cart there, guy. I used to always hang around there, Mr. Paul, Greek gentleman. And he sees me every day coming around, hanging around, and one day he just offered me a job. This is back in '09 of August. And he says, would you like a job? I said, great, sure. So I started working with him, which I am still this day. I'm still working with Mr. Paul. I haven't missed a day yet. He just recently gave me a promotion to attending his parking lots, along with to watch the cars, because people are coming in there trying to get over and all that good stuff. So I go down there and give him a nice little note. $180. Move on out. So that was a great. This August will be 2 years that I've been with Paul too, and I haven't missed a day. Only the days that I come here, and today that I've spoken for Monday and Tuesday. Yes, I'm now. Oh yes, and once again, I said I was continuing running. I'm living in Project Home now, but since the death of my mother, I've spoken with my grandmother, who had a secret meeting with me and my brother, and just says, your mother left some property behind, and it's up for you as the children to take care of it. So now I'm living in my mother's house up in Glenside, and with my brother, my annoying brother, and my nephew. And it's tough. It's tough, but from the road that I came from, and like running marathons, trained me into when I mean by the road I came from, like the hard times, the struggle to get myself back together, prepared me for the things of like learning how to be a homeowner. For example, we poured $600 worth of oil into a heating service that wasn't service. So me and my brother down in the basement keep hitting the switch, and like all this black smoke's coming up. We're like, whoa. So apparently we talked to my brother-in-law, he got the service, and then we got a service, and the heat was cooking, so it's on good. And the strangest thing happened today here, and the reason is I was so nervous that these are my backup notes that Wally just got from me. My original notes, I was so nervous that I ran to the bathroom like 20 times, and the last time I ran, I lost my notes. And I want to thank Wally for coming along and getting this thing together. And let me see what I want to say. Yeah.